Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 5. I'm just introducing what you are going to be working on this week. This week, you are going to be working on your argumentative essay, and along with the essay, you will be turning in pictures or scanned pages of all of the places from which you get your information that you use in your paper about the Delaney sisters. Remember when you write this book that your only source is the book itself. There are 3 different printed versions. There might be 4 actually. And there's also a PDF that you can find on the internet. So you can use any of these editions. I will be able to tell in your works cited page which you use. So let's go ahead. You can read through the introduction and the learning objectives yourself, but I'm going to click on the learning materials and take a look at what we have this week. I've already clicked download for this page just to show you your paper should look like this one. And I've given you an entire student paper that's on a different subject. I have given you the format that you would do for your paper. Notice if you use having our say as part, it can be part of your title. It cannot be your whole title. So here's one called Long Lives and Having Our Say. This topic and our next 2 papers, the next paper that you're going to be writing after this will also be an argumentative paper on a topic that's more like what is in this one. So we're catching our attention with whatever's going on at the beginning of this. Your introduction paragraph is going to end with your thesis statement. So taking a look at this one, the reciting of the pledge should not be forced on public school children because some have religious beliefs that it violates. Some find the words untrue or offensive, and ironically, some have been hurt for refusing to recite with liberty and justice for all. So notice that this is the thesis statement, and each one of these 3 things is going to start the topic sentence. And so this first paragraph is going to be about some Americans have very strong religious beliefs that saying the pledge would violate. This whole paragraph is about this. I want to point out with this topic that this paragraph is not using the writer's religious beliefs, but showing that it is infringing on someone's beliefs. There's a big difference between using your religious belief because we don't all have the same religion. So make sure you read this and you'll see that there are examples here. And then notice there is a transition. There are some beliefs besides religion that the pledge violates, and then we go into the next one. It might be that you just have a transitional expression like next, or another reason that the Delaney sisters did whatever they did in your paper. And then notice this topic sentence is going to be exactly what the second thing was that we listed here. And then this whole paragraph will be about that. And then in the third paragraph, it'll copy whatever the third thing in your list was. I want you to notice too, here is a block quote. So if you're typing along and your paper goes to more than 3 lines when you're typing, then you will indent. And this student, actually, I need to fix this sometime. It's in a PDF though. It should be just a 1/2 inch. And notice that everything is indented over. The quotation marks are taken off. There's an example of this in the paper in the handbook as well, but it's also in this paper. And then notice that we end, and then there is a conclusion paragraph, and then you'll insert a page break, and you will have your works cited page. Notice that you're going to go to the handbook and look at what you do with 3 authors. Since there are 3 authors of this book, the 2 Delaney sisters and Amy Hill Harth, here you're going to put Delaney, Sarah L., because she's the first one, and et al., which is Latin for everybody else, the entire title. And I'm going to be looking here. If you have the very small paperback, it is the Dell. If you have the hardback, I think it's Kadanja. If you have the other paperback, I can't remember what the publisher is off the top of my head, but it's a different publisher. So that's going to change your pagination. So your paper should look exactly like this. Notice size 12, Arial's a good one to choose. Don't choose any weird font. Notice everything is in double space, centered title, using the tab key to indent. Just to remind you, back in the modules, we're in the learning materials. This paper is here. It's going to tell you the pages that you're going to use in the little seagull. We have adjectives and adverbs. Back in the MLA pages, which are listed, you can look at how to quote, how to paraphrase, how to do the works cited page, and also the example that I just showed you. That paper is here. You can download it. Our grammar this week is adjectives and adverbs. So there's a video about adjectives. When you watch this, handwrite some notes, okay? And then you'll watch the one on adverbs and you will handwrite some notes. And then those are our videos that are there. Notice that there are 3 quizzes, one on adjectives and 2 of them are on adjectives and adverbs. And the next one is on documentation and MLA style. I just edited this. This was listed in Module 4, but I added these page numbers because they are there. MLA and text documentation starting on page 156 to 65. So all of the MLA pages will also help you because you will need to, let me check why it's saying this. You will need to make sure that you are restudying that for one of the quizzes that we are doing. I just refreshed the page up here by clicking and just notice my video was not working and then now it is working. So all of those videos are there now. So make sure that you see that. Going back to the modules, scrolling down to 5, the documentation quiz has to do with where all of the periods, quotation marks, what needs to go in the parentheses so you can use your handbook for those pages to make sure that you are doing that correctly. All 3 of these quizzes are ones that you can take again until you get 100. So make sure you are studying and working on that. Notice Sunday, September 21, your paper will be due. So you have all this week to look at that. If you have revised your pre-writing thesis statement for me, I will take a look at that tomorrow on Monday morning. Also, several of you have not had an appointment with me. This is a required appointment for a grade, and this is a significant grade this semester. When you revised your narrative, you need to meet with me. I see one person who has signed up for tomorrow, but some of you have not signed up for an appointment. Take a look at the calendar back in Module 4. If you have not, you can ignore this if you have already done it. But back in Module 4, I have this calendar link that you can click on. And you will notice that tomorrow, Monday, September 15, these are the last appointments that I have. See if one of these fits your schedule. If it does not, please send me a message and we can figure out a time. But if I have not met with you, I have 10 a.m. and I have some in the morning, I have some in the evening. So find a time that fits your schedule, and I've allotted 30 minutes. And what you're supposed to do is show me the corrections that you have made on that narrative that I graded. And you should highlight any grammar or punctuation that you change and be ready to tell me. And you can also ask me some questions. You can also talk about this paper that you are working on. So I look forward to meeting you when I see you. And I've enjoyed meeting those of you who I have already seen. So make sure that you are keeping up. Again, as always, if you have any questions, please, please, please just send me a quick message and I will get back to you. Have a great week, everyone. I look forward to seeing those of you who I have not seen yet. And I also, I look forward to hearing from you. And I also look forward to your essays this week. Sorry, I just thought of something I wanted to add on. Please also go back to Module 4, looking at last week's, just to pick up some other things to look at for this week's project, because I already have introduced what your pages should look like. So here's an example of scanned pages. I'm just going to open that. Let me see if that'll open well. Let me make that a little smaller. So notice when you have your book, if you tell me that something is on 178, I can see this highlighted part. So try to make it, kind of, I notice there's a couple of things going on here with mine, but make it obvious to me, what you are using when you are highlighting. You can make it a little bit better than this, but have some highlighted pages. Like here's something, this is something that someone used, and you can show what it is that you are using. You can write a page number on if it's not showing, because I want to make sure that I can see where all of your quotes and paraphrases. So if something happened in the book and you're using it, I need to see it. This is a scan as a PDF. If you know how to do that, that's easy. If you want to do a JPEG, like just taking a picture of each page, just make sure it is clear and I can read it and it's right side up. And you will be uploading that. And let me just show you where. So notice back in Module 5, you will be uploading your actual essay here that typed double-spaced MLA style that looks exactly like the one that you find in the learning materials here. And then you will upload the scanned pages of your document here. Essay scanned pages, or their pictures of them. So these two things will be due at the same time, because I'll be looking at this as I'm reading your paper to make sure you did that correctly. Notice that some learning materials you can go back and find them in week 4 if it is not in week 5. Some of the things that we did last week as pre-writing steps, some of the pages in the handbook, for example. So everything is here between 4 and 5 for getting this final paper done. I also make sure that you are reading the notes that I made on your thesis, paraphrase, and quote, because I want to make sure that those are correct before you write more. So make sure you're looking at that. And again, I will take a look tomorrow on Monday at the ones. I think I just saw 4 of you have revised. So I'll take a look at those tomorrow so that you have the rest of the week to work on your paper and working on the grammar. Again, okay, I think I'm finished now. So have a great week, everybody.